everyone. Welcome to episode 446 of the Dead Pixels Internet with your host, Joe.
And Lorne.
Hey, we're doing it again. And, funny thing, I was going through my old emails. I have one like that's just a kind of abandoned. I've had it since like 2004. And
okay.
I was like, oh yeah, this is the email for the, that goes for the Twitter of the official podcast. And I had to like scroll through everything because there was like 5,000 unread messages in there. I'm like, man, I never let it get this bad. And I was, yeah.
I tell you, my messages, I got over 29K.
Why? I would say like just take care of that. For me, I personally, it's like.
I try to take care of it, but it's so much. I'm just like, oh, forget it.
I mean, I don't know if you get this, but I get this a lot. But my email is pretty like normal. It's not like buttsniffer@gmail.com or anything like that.
No, so I have both of my emails accounts connected. So I got my business email account and then my personal email account too. So my personal email account was all the my personal email account, I got like all my like the deals, for GameStop, all this stuff. The one I usually use for like, if I'm signing up for coupons and everything else, I use that email address. So I just get constantly provided with coupons and deals and track information, all that stuff there. And my business email account is for like, say someone want an opportunity, to like for job stuff and everything else. I have that as well.
Yeah, I only use just that one, which is for both business and pleasure. But since my name's so normal, it gets caught up with a bunch of like Mexican and Brazilian stuff. So I'm getting stuff like, from BCFP, Ortega thing. I'm like, I don't know who the hell signed me up for this. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah,
I get a lot of weird emails like that. But yeah, I use my older one, and I reset the password for the official Twitter since I'm using it again. So I was like, we got the official back. We'll see. I mean, it's right now. It's like, if it works, it works out. But yeah, it's not as active as I am. But yeah, we'll see how that works out, huh?
Yeah, can I tell you something? What happened to me last night?
What did you do? Did you play a good old game of Uno? I don't know.
No.
What?
So I was like on the phone last night, and then I heard a loud bang. So
Are
I'm
you
like,
still having fireworks?
Well, they were shooting fireworks earlier, but no, it was a car accident.
Oh snap! What? Right in front, right on the main road next to you?
Yeah, right on the main road, right next to me, and there was a car flipped like 3 times.
Damn! What the hey?
Yes.
Wow.
I was like, wait, what? I was like outside my window seeing this, her boom, then this, boom. I was like, what? And just like see the car just like, it's like one of those slow motion action movies that you see a car flip. And I was like, holy crap. I was like, holy crap. And I was like, no. And it's like, the car like slowly spin around. So like upside down. I was like, holy crap. I hope they okay. And like everybody from my neighborhood started rushing out, like coming to try and figure out what was that noise and to see if that person was okay. And apparently it was like a 3-car accident because I ran outside like, holy crap, is everyone okay?
What time was it? What time was it?
Around like 10:40 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Damn. So I was like, holy crap. And because I was about to I was like, no, I go hop in the shower real quick, this and that, and I call it evening. But then I was like, what is going just when I heard that, I was just, holy crap. And I know they said, the guy's fine, he's over in the corner. Then I look towards the corner, like 2 more cars just completely wrecked. I was like, jeez. Man, this is a bad wreck. And then I see all these people outside. It's like, wait, we still in quarantine season. Too many people out here, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, but like too many people out here. I was like, I don't even have my mask on either. I said, no, man, I don't trust nobody.
Yeah, that is true.
it just like, you know, you get to like, you know, worry about like, you know, a fellow human being like, this is crazy, but then when you come to your senses, like, wait, no one out here wearing masks. So chances are, when you guys, I'm not saying when you guys, y'all could be asymptomatic that, you know, you guys don't carry it. I'm not sure who's the carriers of it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back into my house.
Yeah.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good day. But yeah, that was real crazy. That happened last night. I seen a picture from my window and show you.
Where people out there doing the whole whoa, putting a phone out like whoa, look at this.
Yep. People was doing that. People, and that's why I'll also check on Snapchat to see when we're posted on Snapchat. Don't see nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, at least there's that.
I was like, someone must have it on Snapchat. Like, no one got it on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Well, like Snapchat be like, nope, this is too violent, blah, blah, blah. Just like,
not really.
Yeah, it's a car accident. You should on the Snapchat showing dudes pretty much at a strip club or pretty much drinking.
Or like doing the weed.
Doing the weed.
Yeah. But speaking of, well, not really, but since the whole thing, did you see what happened on Twitter with this whole Disneyland reopening thing?
Yeah, I saw snippets of it, and I have to say, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't say, what is going on with Disney? What's going on with the people working there? Like, yo, this make me don't want to go anywhere.
I know.
At all. Not even, like, even to the movie theaters. I'm like, y'all not even, like, doing social distancing. And y'all, like, pretty much doing, like, what, y'all spraying it down a little bit? But that's not even a good job. Y'all spraying down with water?
They look at it.
With water? Like, yo, water would clean out everything. I'm like sitting there like, yo, I deal with my jobs. I have to use different type of chemicals to spray stuff down, and y'all using basic water?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think like, wow, they should not be open. But I understand they're like, we need the money because if we don't, we're really gonna be in the red and you know, well, guess what? The park goes away, and it's like, this is bad.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool. You know, like, I understand though, you guys need the money for like pretty much make sure your business run functional, but you guys need to do better. You guys don't have to have like full master capacity. You guys can cut off like, yo, there's a limit for here. And also the thing going on Florida too.
Yeah.
Florida
is like, the world's epicenter.
Yeah, 15K.
Yeah, of the most. And I'm just like, you know, there's a reason why we're not allowed to go anywhere anymore. And just hearing that, I'm just like, yeah, well, this is America. we're banned from every other country now. That's just
and so there's like, yo, I was thinking like, man, maybe I'll try and go see Alex or whatnot over in Seattle or something.
I think,
but now I'll just be like, no, I don't even want to go out of town. I just feel like, look, if I'm going out of town, it's only pretty much be like only by driving, if so. But like go to a near suburb, forget out of state.
I think we're doing fine though, in Chicago, well, mostly in Illinois. Like we're doing good with like our numbers from what I can see on online.
So far.
Yeah, so I'm just like, at least there's that. Every other Arizona opened up, and it's like, oh no, wait, that was a bad idea. They closed back down.
No, when I saw Arizona, I said Arizona. I was like, the most quiet place like Arizona. Really,
yeah,
Arizona?
Mostly
like y'all
desert.
really out there rowling? Like California, no. I'm saying that New York know how to handle itself. Even New York was a hot mess before, and now New York like, no, we good now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's your COVID-19 update right there. We haven't done a Chicago Minute in a long time either. Well, just like.
Well, that's the Chicago Minute. We're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing okay. I feel a little bit more proud of that. Like, okay, at least we're not completely botching up. We're not like having like, oh, some guy threw a COVID-19 party in his place. You would catch him just like, excuse me.
Well, there was that party on the south side a few months ago.
That was a few months ago, though. I don't know.
So, that was a few months ago. We
were dumb back then.
It was dumb back then. I think no. Back then it was like, no, we just gonna do it.
Yeah.
Cause we've been locked up.
Yeah.
You know.
But
still, though, I think I addressed the fact that I have a family member who had COVID-19.
well, not on the podcast. On your Twitter, but not here, not on the podcast.
Yeah. So I had a family member who's very close to me had COVID-19, and they was pretty much they kept it cool. So like pretty much I'm proud that they recovered pretty well and they are doing just fine. But when I heard it happen, I was like wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's really crazy.
Yeah,
like
just hearing that, it's like that's when it gets like, oh, this is real right here.
Yeah, I was like, and this was immediate family member. I mean, like immediate family member. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Like, how can you deal with this and everything else?
Yeah.
But then I get I send text messages, to them. They doing fine. They recovered just well. And I was like, yo, just remember, be safe out there. They understand the rules.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing right there. You just gotta be cautious now. There's people like pushing the whole like you gotta wear a mask, and I'm just like, yeah, just do it. And it's
just do it. No, it's like, yeah, just been wear a mask. That's like, just wear a mask. That's all. Yeah. I've been wearing masks. I even bought different ones, and I own like these 6 pair of masks.
Target's just selling them regularly now. Like it's just like part of ingrained now in our daily lives. Just like
but I got the reusable masks.
Oh yeah, the cool ones, the Scorpion and Sub-Zero ones.
I don't got the. No, I did not got that one, but I do want to get the one that there's one guy from artists that do 9 Inch Nails. He created like a mask on he called it the Hamill. Like name after Mark Hamill. Oh. It's the Joker smile.
Oh, okay.
From The Killing Joke.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be seeing like a lot of just designer masks now.
And I'm pretty much I want that mask because like that mask is cool, but it's like $20. So I'm like, is it $20? I'm pretty sure it's worth $20, but I'm just like, that's a maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that whole thing right there. And with this whole craziness going on Twitter, there's some funny stuff going on with the cakes, which I think that's pretty funny.
As a Twitter meme,
there was this video going on, along with like that. This isn't a piece of meat. This is watermelon. I'm just like, ooh. It was like a baked watermelon. It made it look like it was like a piece of ham. I'm just like, that's kind of nasty. And then there was one.
I've been seeing that video. That made me like, ugh.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of like. Yeah. But the one that's like, it showed a video like, oh, this isn't what you think it is. These are all cakes, and it's just like they're cutting into a slipper, and it turns into a cake. They're cutting into like a piece of toilet paper, and it's actually cake. I'm just like, well, that's cool. And then everyone got to take it. It's like they took it as a joke. It's like, well, what if everything is cakes? I'm just like, I guess. And now it's going on.
It's the cake war.
It's the cake. It's all cake. It always has been.
Yeah. The cake was never a lie.
There's that meme. Have you seen that one too? Like, wait, it's all blank, and it's like it always has been. It's 2 astronauts.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty funny.
One of the astronauts has a gun, I believe.
Yes, I like that one. It's pretty funny. There's also that funny meme of "Are you winning, son?" I don't know why, but that's a funny joke to me. But also another news, Kanye is planning to run for.
Don't believe the hype on
I know.
that.
I'm just like, I don't think this is gonna happen, work, or do anything.
Also, it's too late to propose someone to bring
I know.
A lot of people like I was in the group chat with my with Ty and them, and like our mutual friend pretty much like saying like, hey, do you think Kanye gonna run? And I was like, what? I'm like, no. Why are you saying something? No, he like that. No, he said like, is anyone going to vote for Kanye? And I was like, are you asking us in a group chat, not like in a public platform, not in like a Facebook thing, but you asked us, someone who we all have common sense, we all pretty much like, yo, what idea you think like voting for Kanye will bring? It's like, oh yeah, vote for Kanye. He's like Obama. Like, no, like no one's not gonna vote for Kanye. Like Kanye is like oh, he gonna take away votes from Biden or like give them to Trump or whatever. I'm just like, no. It's like if people is doing that, then I say, then you are silly. As a person, you like, oh, I'll go vote for Kanye because Kanye, free Yeezy, so anything else, in that nature, like, no.
Oh man,
just no. Oh, you think anyone go write? Oh, I'll go vote Kanye West. I'll go vote like people use write-in votes to put Kanye West in. Like, get out of here. First off, we still in the quarantine, and second off, last time I voted, pretty much in the primaries, and they'll say you got like hand sanitizer every single voting registration now. So that's gonna be a weird thing since we in the election year.
Yeah, right.
So it's just like, so how you go pretty much anyone go write down Kanye West? Like how many people go be like, and also on a public platform, your running mate is a minister. I'm just like, how far this joke is going to go? How far
apparently we go? Really far right now.
Like, yeah, man, we gonna be serious about voting for Kanye. Like, if you vote for Kanye, look, I own Yeezys. I do. I own 2 pair of Yeezys. Doesn't mean it's something like, yeah, he know how to make great shoes. He know how to get the public. No, it does not work like that.
He's like, I want him to put it with his finger on the button. What button?
It's gonna be what? Like, oh yeah, First Lady go have news. I'm like, yeah, but Trump's wife had news already too. There's nothing. No, just
yeah, it's
just like look. Where he go run under? He's not running under Chicago, but he ran under his mansion, his place he lived in Wyoming.
It has become like we're in a simulation right now. Like what the hell? We don't know what's going on with this anymore. It's the episode of Black Mirror we all wanted, and we're all living in right now.
Like, there's no sense of making sense of these things. Like, okay, none of this making no sense at all. You guys are being silly. Like, or it could be real. Like, no, it cannot be real. Reason why it cannot be real because none of it makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make. Ladies and gentlemen, it don't make sense. But yeah, that's what's going on, and yeah, for me, I'm just like that's just stupid. If we go into the weird like 1 in a million chance, 1 in a billion trillion chance that it happens, I'll be like, oh, okay, well, the U.S. officially has lost the war with common decency.
Lost everything now. So okay, so the U.S. don't have no values at all. We just having different celebrities being presidents of the United States of America. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
It's just like just no. Yeah. Sometimes you have to say no. And these are the times that you say no.
But anyways, what's cool though is Hannibal Buress put up his whole special on YouTube. You can just watch it.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
Miami Nights. Yeah.
But how is the special?
Oh, I think it's really funny. He's still really funny. He's way better of a comedian than Eric Andre is. Stand-up comedian, at least.
Yeah.
Because he knows how to structure his jokes and how to, to deliver them. Eric Andre's more into a whole of like, I'm just going to say really outlandish things. And that's the funny part.
I'm just gonna be yelling, and that's the punchline. Me being yell. I yell at these things, so it'd be funny.
Yeah, and he's good at that. Like, okay, good, you stay at that type, but it doesn't work in the medium of stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Unless the people aren't in on the. I said this before. Like, if people aren't in on the jokes, if he just came out to people who don't know who he is, and started saying stuff like that, and people were confused and like, what is he talking about? That'd be funny.
But then if you're going to like, oh, I'm going to see an Eric Andre show, you'd be like,
yeah.
What? Like, sorry, but
like, I don't know what you said.
Like, I'm not sure how you proceed to watch an Eric Andre stand up.
And I also got that clip for you. It's like, you ever feel depressed but you just feel like you just need a haircut?
Yep.
I'm just like, hey.
A haircut can change anybody's life, trust me.
Well, yeah, he's really funny,
like,
though.
Man, I feel a little bit down about myself, blah, 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 blah. And then, you get a haircut, you have a different outlook. It's so true, but it hits the point like, man, okay. Because sometimes you look at yourself like, man, I'm not sure about this hair, but blah, blah, all this stuff here. And you try in different ways. And then, you get a fresh haircut, you have a different outlook.
Yeah.
Your confidence change.
He's also running. He looks like he's actually running his YouTube channel. Because he's got a YouTube channel. I didn't even know that. I'm like, oh, he's got one. Huh. Yeah,
well, he did have a podcast. I'm not sure he's still doing the podcast still.
I don't know. I mean, I've looked on it. He's kind of doing he's doing gameplay stuff. He was playing Last of Us 2 on there. And I'm just like, that's weird. He's actually doing YouTuber stuff. I'm just like, what the hell?
Getting that YouTube money.
I guess he was he's going in between doing commentary on his old stand-ups, and he plays the game for a bit, then goes back to his stand-up. I'm just like, well, I've never seen it done like that before. And he's not really.
He's the first.
He's not really that tech savvy, at least not right now, because it looks, his audio is not as good, his video quality is not as good. So you're like, yeah, he's pretty much starting off doing this.
Yeah, starting off, but once you get the right people or the right people in that, then you'd be good.
Brie Larson also has a YouTube channel now.
Yeah, I heard, and a lot of people thought Brie Larson was going to come out becoming lesbian, but her announcement was pretty much having a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and a lot of people was just like, man, she knows she's one. I was just like, okay. Yeah. That's a weird stance that you betting that Brie Larson is a lesbian. Okay, I guess.
If you really want that to happen in your head, yes.
If you really want that to happen, you can still have imagination time.
But yeah, that video that she put up is not well received.
Well, I just guess the people who really hate Brie Larson, I guess well, I try to think of what people, what person you compare Brie Larson to who just get unnecessary hate just because it just, it's Brie Larson. Oh, I can't stand her. I was just like,
well, the guy who
why?
I know, there's the guy who's on Big Bang Theory. He gets a lot. Jim Parsons.
Jim Parsons.
Yes, he will get a lot of unnecessary.
Jim Parsons has been playing typecast the same role for over 10+ years.
Yeah, that's the thing that comes to mind. There's also that kid who plays Joffrey on Game of Thrones. He got a lot of just hate of ooh, I hate your character. I'm like, yeah, you hate the character, but you don't hate him. And then they'll say you were the one that did it.
And I think the thing is, I don't hate Jim Parsons at all as a person. I think he's a really good actor. I just despise that show because that show is it's a hyper reactive thing about a hyper-reactive take on nerd culture, and I'm just like, I don't see nobody act like that. And someone told me, oh, I know some people act like that. I say, really? Who really act like that? I was like, yeah. So someone who works in a high-end scientist who stays in New York in a small place in New York? Get out of here.
Yeah, I know.
Also, here's another hot take. I dislike 10 Things. Not
10
How I
Things.
Met Your Mother.
You hate that show? I really like that show. I liked it a lot when it was on.
I think How I Met Your Mother was good to a certain point, and then it just became okay.
I think the last three episodes for me, I'm just like, well, I thought they were gonna go with to me the ending is I thought they were gonna go with oh, Robin's not the mother, but well, she technically wasn't, but he still ends up with Robin, and also the fact that they had Bob Saget as the voice, as the older version of the main character. I'm just like, it doesn't sound like him though.
Yeah.
And then when I went to the last episode, he just morphed his voice into older Ted. I'm just like, so what was the point of having Bob Saget? He was just not even gonna be the voice. It's weird.
So y'all just have Bob Saget just being Bob Saget, just like, oh yeah, Bob Saget, can you just use the voice a little bit here, and then that's it. We're not gonna feature you in here.
I know, right?
We're just gonna have your voice. And then I saw that I did see the ending of it because I'm like, first off, didn't really care for it to watch the whole series.
Damn,
I watched
okay.
a little bit of it, and then I saw the ending. I was like, this is so dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. But like I said, most of the shows, like, I thought it was funny. I liked it, and it was probably like the last sitcom that had a laugh track that I watched where I actually enjoyed it. Because most of the time, if I watch a sitcom that has a laugh track, it's like, oh, this is bad.
Or like 2.5 Men.
The Big Show, like a couple of shows on Netflix too. Mr. Iglesias, I think like it's not even that good, but I don't know why I watched the entire first season.
For torture.
I mean, you get a bit better appreciation for like, oh, I like how jokes work when they work, and on this, like, you can automatically tell what the joke is gonna be, and like, it's gonna be about this, isn't it? And like, yeah, I was right.
Like, this ain't funny. This is terrible.
Yeah, but Brie Larson gets a lot of hate, and I don't know. She does take a lot. She does have a lot of like opinions about stuff that I don't agree with, but I'm just like, yeah, you can do what you want.
Yeah, just like she have opinions. Let her speak her opinions, even though some opinions be like, "Oh, I think that's not a hill that you want to die on." But okay,
yeah, basically.
As us, we just agree to disagree. That's all. Just agree to disagree. Someone told me Mass Effect 3 was the best game of all time. I'm just like, you sure you want that?
I need a lot of context for that one, only because like I can agree for it somewhat if Mass Effect is the only game you've ever played. I need to know what the barometer is. Like, what do you think is the worst? What do you think is the okayest? That's what I want to see. Then I can be like, okay, then I can understand why if all you've ever played was Uncle Fester and Jekyll and Hyde on the NES, and then you play Mass Effect 3, then yes, you are right technically.
But then you skip all 1, 2.
Yeah.
And like everything else, sounds like that's the hill that you want to die on, fam. But okay.
Yeah, we can all. I think both of us at least can unanimously agree. Like Part 2 was the best Mass Effect out of all of them.
Part 2 was the best one.
Yeah,
it is. Part 3 has a lot.
There's a lot of moments in that. Like that's really cool.
A lot of moments there. It's just like.
But it's not the whole package isn't good. If the whole package is good,
there's some packages are good. Some packages is not that great. Like I'm replaying through Mass Effect 3, and I completely just realized that. Oh yeah, like. Look at the DLC. I'm just like, okay, let me look at some of the DLC. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, Leviathan DLC, pretty freaking boring. Not that good as the DLC.
I liked it a little bit because I like the guy. He was kind of cool. I liked him. He was like, but yeah, it was kind of boring for the most part.
The Leviathan one?
That's the one where you meet the protein guy, or is that a different one?
No, that's a different one.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Leviathan one that you get onto like. You go to this like here goes. So the setup is you go to like you in like the Citadel and you go to this doctor's office and dude gets shot by his assistant and then you try to like find these different places to find like this Leviathan is a Reaper killer. Then you go to this like space thing, like space station, and everybody's acting weird. So like you're not supposed to belong here, Commander. What you doing here? It's the most boring part in that. Like in the DLC, like the no one DLC for Mass Effect 3 was the Citadel. The Citadel.
That was it. That was only because
Citadel. No, there was the Omega one. If you have played the Omega one as well too.
Is that the club one?
Yeah. So the one you play with is you and Arya.
Yeah, I mean that was okay for me. I didn't think it was the best. But yes, it was better
best compared to all the other stuff they had.
I guess so, yeah. But yeah, Citadel's pretty good. But yes,
because like with the Omega DLC, you get a new power and it's overpowered as hell. It's the you actually get you get one. It's the freaking bionic something. It's like this big ass grenade, not grenade, but it's like this. It's just this overpowered. It's called Lash, I believe. It's just like you just toss it and just like a heat-seeking like projectile and just explodes. And it's so good. It's so good.
That's cool.
But getting to the point, just like saying like, "Hey, hot takes." It's there's some hot takes you have to be like, "Oh, okay, that's a little bit strange that you want to talk about that, but okay, cool."
That's true. Anyways, but yeah, other news that's going on. The government is thinking about banning TikTok, which to me, I'm just like, that's kind of funny.
Yes, Korean pop stars be for real. TikTok is banned.
Only because like that's out of all the social media things, I'm like that's the one I don't use. There's nothing for me on there.
No, nothing at all. And just like I don't use it, so I don't care for it.
Well, it was like it's if you want to get like the bite size like little tiny videos. We had Vine, and that died, went away. Then there was Musically, which turned into TikTok. And both of those, I'm just like, I don't want to go on there and then get arrested because of all these kids singing. I know, like now, so I know it's like right now. The people say like, oh, actually TikTok's like sometimes it's good. Like there's actually stuff on there. It's like that's actually pretty funny. I'm good, But all the people that are on like TikTok now, like, oh yeah, we're probably gonna migrate to YouTube. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Or why not Instagram?
That's true. Instagram would be doing
it. If
it.
you want to do your short form videos, you can still do on Instagram.
I know, but I don't.
But no.
They don't want to be under the guise of Facebook. Facebook's for old people, is what they say.
So Instagram's for like hipsters. Remember Instagram was all about pictures.
Yeah, right. It was all about It was all about pictures of. That was like the joke. Like it was pictures of food, cats, and I don't know, whatever the else is.
And filters, all filters.
Yeah, I still feel like sometimes the filters are like I guess looks better.
Yeah, depending on the filter.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're taking picture of.
They're doing at least good with like the face tracking stuff when they do like yeah, like I don't know about filters. What's it called? Like a snap. I know it's not called a snap thing, but like a facial recognition thing.
Yeah.
It's
face
like
filters.
They do good with that because they have some. Yeah.
That was such a 2 year thing ago, and people still using face filters. I'd be like, what? Like really? Face filter on my pictures and everything else. Like, why?
As I see it, if you're using face filters, you a thought on that. Or you're a fuck boy.
I take Joe. Bring it in the action. Use a filter, you are dot. I take Joe speaking on the action right now.
But yeah, it's funny because like there was like, oh, it's data mining, like it's taking all your data and sending it to China and all that stuff. I'm just like, well, what app doesn't at this point?
It's like, whatever. Look, China living their best life, okay? They are having fashion shows right now. What we have? Nothing.
Anyone else want to go with me to New Zealand once it's all over?
Not for trying to poison New Zealand.
I know that was the joke. Like, they will never accept us. Like, no, you're not allowed in here. I'm like, I know, but it'd be nice if I could go in there, huh?
Also, I'm not going to waste a pretty much 18-hour flight on the plane.
We just get there and they're like, oh, you're from America? I don't know. He sounds like an Australian, but
yeah, you sound no. Don't be that dude. Stick with the American accent. Like, oh, you from America? Nope.
No, I'm from American.
Get back into the plane. Okay, at least we've been out of the country. Yay!
Also, I hear.
Wait, you went to Europe once before.
Yeah, just once. That was it. And now I'll never be able to go back. Which is the sad thing.
Because of that joke.
Yeah, that specifically for that joke. Nothing else. But yeah, it's funny to me, like, cause TikTok is like gonna be on the way of like, I think Quibi's gonna be on the way it's out too.
Quibi. I'm wondering what was the idea to make Quibi.
It's like
bite-sized episodes,
yeah,
like pretty much 3 or 4 minutes. But why would I want to watch something bite-sized episodes on my phone?
They saw it as like people watch YouTube on their phone, but if the people wanted to like pay for something that's like got stars on it, I'm just like, I guess, but I don't like most of the celebrities on there.
Yeah, just like Anna Kendrick like talking to her sex doll boyfriend.
Yeah, you get that. You get that commercial a lot, I guess. Huh?
Yeah,
and I'm like, just stop. Shut up.
No, well, also commercial I get The Dangerous Game.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Liam Hemsworth in The Dangerous Game starring that guy who's in Django Unchained. I'm like, okay, it's cool. I said the concept was cool, but I better watch the whole thing like on
TV,
Netflix when it comes
yeah,
out.
I would watch the entire thing like I watched this on a TV. I'm not a mobile watcher on YouTube. Yes, because YouTube's easier to stream stuff like that. But to sit down and get invested into like a show, like there's jokes in here that that a writing staff had to do. I'm like, I'm not into that right there. That's why it's not doing so hot. And I'm like, damn. Well, that's.
And then like the guy who created it's like, oh, the reason why I'm not doing so hot, doing so great because of the pandemic. I'm like, no, because your platforms suck, and not because of the pandemic. Be like, oh yeah, I really don't want to watch Creepy because you know what, the coronavirus. People are not doing anything else going on. People always looking for escapism.
They also
a lot of video game sales went up.
They also don't have like a killer TV show that you like. Oh, you have to watch this. Like there's no one's saying like, oh, you gotta watch whatever this show is. It's like, it's whatever. I like the fact like, oh yes, it's optimized. Like you can watch it, your phone in either landscape mode or portrait mode. I'm like, that's cool, I guess, but I just don't.
And also you need if depending how size your phone is, you'd be like, hey, this is not as a good view. Like, can I watch it on my iPad?
Yeah.
Can I watch this off my phone? If I want to watch something, I'll be like, okay, let me just watch it on my TV. Oh, it's not on TV? Then bump that then.
Or you could just be smart and be like, get an HDMI on your phone and stream it
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much.
I know, right? Just have to do it so you watch a Quibi show. Like, you've wasted way too much money on this already. If you want to tell someone, like you had your subscription and you had to buy the lightning cable to HDMI converter, you've already lost. I already have the high ground.
Anakin, I have the high ground.
I like how we can just say stuff like that. Like, oh, I get it now. I understood that reference.
Yeah, Captain America.
Hey. Speaking of streaming sites, so HBO Max released a new show on their streaming service, Close Enough, with J.G. Quintel, the guy who created Regular Show. And I actually like that show. It's really funny. It's like the adult version of Regular Show. They get away with a lot more jokes that would be like, yeah, they're definitely not gonna say that on Regular Show. Even then, in Regular Show, they were saying stuff just like, wow, that's kind of borderline, like, kids would be like, huh? What does that mean? But I remember I stopped watching Regular Show. I don't know why. It was just like...
Because that's it? It was only like 3 seasons, right?
No, it's been... what do you mean? Do you think there's only 3 seasons of Regular Show? There's like... There's like at least like 8 something seasons. At least more. There's like a lot of seasons. 3. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't push it as much, but it was still popular enough that it got that many episodes and, all that stuff. And it came out during the time of Adventure Time, too. So it's like, either watch Adventure Time or Regular Show. I mean, if you watch both, but people were talking about Adventure Time more than Regular Show. And that's kind of unfair, because like I did like a Regular Show when it did come out. But this I also really like, too. But the thing is, like, the guy can't do a voice other than Mordecai. That's just his voice right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want, people should check that out. I think it took a while for them to make this show, because I remember you saw like the trailer for this, and I thought it was gonna be on TBS like around 2016-17 when the trailer first came out. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's on right now on HBO Max, right?
It's exclusively only on HBO Max.
Yeah. I remember that was supposed to be on TBS, but then...
I'm like, I don't know what happened then. Like, why is that, though? What did they do? Did they lose? Lose the war? Or they saw and they're like, oh, it's not good enough. Let's just put it on, give it to someone else. And it's funny, too, because like, they're 15 minutes long. Well, 11 minutes. Like the same length as Regular Show. And there's 2 in 1 episode. So there's only like 8 right now of that show. So there's a total of 16 around. But yeah, it's basically like, it's what would be like if you were middle-aged and you have a kid and you still want to be, I don't know, relevant. It's still...
Yeah, you still want to be active. You still want to be social. You want to do all the cool things the same restrictions that if you are a parent, you could still be on your BS.
Yeah, this is like a very, very millennial show. Because, like, it's like, oh, we're getting old now. You know? And it kind of resonates with me, like, because, yeah, like, I'm about that age where they're like, I want to be still cool and all that stuff. And it's like, I don't know. It is pretty funny, though. I suggest that's a good watch on if you have HBO Max. I know no one else does.
Nobody does, except for you.
I saw the trailer for American Pickle with Seth Rogen. And that looks kind of weird. Only because, like, people also giving Seth Rogen a lot of hate right now.
Why?
Because he went on his Instagram, he posted stuff about, you know, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. And and he would just be like, yes, Black Lives Matter. And then people are like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you being political? And he told almost every single one that did stuff like that, he'd be like, oh, fuck off. He would just be like that. And which I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It is. And people, now hate him for that. Which I'm like, well, you got the people that are, I don't want to say racist, but, like, you know, think a certain way against you. So is that good or bad? It's up to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good show. I'll say right now HBO Max doesn't have that big of a, you know, draw in for you know, streamings and all that stuff, because, you know, it's still got to go up against the big stuff like Netflix and all that stuff. But they're getting their footing in. Like, okay, we'll have some things that you'd want to see. They have all of Friends on there if you want to watch Friends. They have, did I say I only watched like one season of Friends and I didn't want to continue. I was just like, I mean, it's okay. The jokes I can see are there, but it's not as funny as I think it should be.
Friends, yuck.
Friends. The Looney Tunes cartoon show is good on there, only because I grew up on that stuff, and I'm glad that they stuck with the horrendous violence that they do on that show. And they have all the other iterations too. Like there's the one that came out in 2012, the Looney Tunes, like new Looney Tunes, and they're mostly doing like, on that show they were mostly like, oh, let's just do regular stuff. And I was like, that's not what I want to see them do. I want to see them get hurt.
Yeah.
And there was another one too, and after that I was like, wow, I did not know they made that many Looney Tunes shows. And then you can watch the old stuff too if you wanted. And I saw the Big Chungus one. I was like, oh, there it is. There's your big Chungus meme right there. But yeah, they have like a lot of classic stuff. It's also like part Crunchyroll stuff on there, and I'm just like, wow, they are making this the most confusing set of collections I've ever seen on this. There's other stuff too, like Doom Patrol and
which I'm surprised that Doom Patrol's on there.
Yeah, that's why I talked to him, like, so is DC just not going to have its own streaming thing? I mean, technically it still does. I saw, like, oh, they still have it. But
still, like, Doom Patrol is one of the best shows they had, and now it's gone.
I like Harley Quinn, though. The Harley Quinn animated show, I think, is still really good.
It's good, but Doom Patrol was one of those few shows that, okay, cool, you got one show. All right, then Harley Quinn was like, okay, you got another show. That's awesome. Now it's just like, you got Harley Quinn to watch. no one like want to watch the Titans.
Harley Quinn's gonna be is gonna be on HBO Max, which is funny enough.
which now is be like, okay, then what's the purpose of pretty much getting DC now on DC level?
Well, apparently they still have like Swamp Thing. That's one of theirs.
No, Swamp Thing is canceled, dude.
I know, but they still have it. There's a Swamp Thing one.
Also, you know what the funny thing is?
Titans.
The Swamp Thing is gonna be at the CW.
Yeah.
And you can get Swamp Thing, the whole collection, at your local Target if you really want that.
If you felt like it, yeah. Yeah, they have the Teen Titans, that live action one that apparently is good. I don't know. That's what they say. Like, oh, it's good. I'm like, you sure about that?
That's what I heard. It's good, but it's like a slow burn.
But there's still the whole thing of like just seeing the whole fuck Batman thing. I'm just like, I don't think so.
Well, that whole thing was like poor taste, I would say. Like, oh yeah, this and that. We don't really need Batman, and then be like, yeah, you.
Yeah.
And now, oh yeah, there's a new Batgirl now.
Oh yeah, that other thing that I just feel like Batgirl probably shouldn't have been made, but hey, apparently it's not doing so good. But apparently enough to have a second season. I'm like, I guess.
Well, because the reason why, I would say it's there because the CW is loving all DC products, so give us all DC because we need more shows. Look, man, they don't have no other show. Look, Arrow is done.
Arrow, Flash is done. I think Flash is done. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Flash is done. Well, shows they can pull from the keister.
They're still doing. I don't know if they say it's a lot, but they should be still doing Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Supergirl. Who cares
about Legends of Tomorrow? Do you see anything good? Only time you go, oh, Legends of Tomorrow, you'd be like, oh, because that crossover episode.
Did you see that one really funny clip of a Supergirl that looked really awful?
No.
It was like some really badly CGI'd fight that went on, and it was funny when I saw it. But yeah, it's weird what CW's doing. They're like, oh yeah, we got all this now. It's over, but we got the shows. Ha ha ha. But you guess what I did over that weekend since I had time to. I watched.
What you did?
I watched three horror movies that I have on my list. I was like, I just want to watch something awful. I'm in the mood of watching something really bad. And the first one I watched was Truth or Dare. That one, this came out 2 years ago, 2018, I think. Wait.
Yeah, I remember Truth or Dare.
That was one that came out earlier. But yeah, I remember I saw the trailer for that. I'm just like, this looks really stupid. And when it came out, people also was like, this was dumb. And yes, it is very, very dumb. It's just the worst concept. Like, oh, let's play Truth or Dare, but this time there's demon. I'm gonna be spoiling a lot of these movies, and I don't think people should care because it's like, whatever. It's who cares about these movies? But yeah, the whole premise is they're teenagers, and they get swindled into playing Truth or Dare in a church, and now they have to play Truth or Dare because of the demon. And I'm just like, that is stupid. And also they do this weird grin, this whole Willem Dafoe goblin grin every time they're like Truth or Dare, and they try to make it sound so menacing. I'm just like, no, you cannot do it with that face and with those set of words.
Truth or Dare. Just let the truth fall down.
So that's the whole thing. People have to be like, oh, truth, and then the demons, they ask them oh, something like this. But I thought okay, there's some ways you can get around this. Which in my mind, I'm like, that's how I feel when I watch horror movies. I always think about what's the alternative to doing something like this. And when they say truth, you can just I feel in my mind what if you just answer it really quietly so you don't have to scream it. Also, yeah. I don't know. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. That too. And then I thought, what if they just asked truth the entire time? I mean, what's the worst that could happen if you just say truth?
Just keep saying truth.
But they set up a rule oh, you can't do that. I'm just like, what? Why they had to set up a rule if you sell two truths, you have to do a dare. I'm just like, that makes no sense, but okay. He's just kind of running. He's just kind of writing his own rules, and she's just like, aha. Right. And then there's this one part right in the thing itself, anyways, where it's oh, I want, because the main girl's I don't want to. I want to tell the truth. I can't tell the truth to this one girl, and she's like, dare, and then the guy's like, oh yeah, I dare you to tell the truth. I'm like, that's bullshit. You can't do that. I'm just okay.
That does not make no sense.
And there's so what's the point of even doing all this? It'd be oh, truth. Tell me the truth if you want to do this there. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's the gore in it. It's okay because it's PG-13, so it's not really gonna be really bloody and all that stuff, And so yeah, the whole thing is it goes in patterns. If this guy does it, the next guy will do it. Then go so on until there's nothing left. Which I'm like, so what if they all just kill themselves? I mean, I know it's not ideal to do that, but the game ends there. And then that won't spread.
It's there.
It's there. Dun, dun, dun. That's why I think I mean, that would be the most logical thing to do. You don't want to spread this to other people because you can technically do that in this game.
The coronavirus.
And then, so here's the ending of the movie, which is also really, really bad and awful. So they go at the end. They have to do a ritual. Like the original guy who did it has to cut off his tongue and put it in a jar, and then they have to melt wax on it to break the curse. They didn't do that. They failed to do that. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And they said like he was in the middle of cutting off his tongue, but the demon kills him. I'm just like, so they were like, oh, we should still do it. And the guy's like, no, he has to do it. I'm like, you can't even try? Like, what? I'd be like, well, let's try. Maybe it'll work. And I don't know what she did, why she thought of this, but she was like, I have an idea. And then she just like goes on YouTube and streams the entire thing, saying like, all right, everyone, this is how it's going on. I'm in a church, and I have one question to ask all of you. Truth or dare? And then she just spread it to the entire world. I'm just like, what? You just endangered everyone in the world.
It was just like for your own personal benefit today, your own self.
Yeah.
Selfish. You decide to play Truth or Dare. Stream it.
Yeah.
First off, why someone would stream something in church?
I don't know. That's the whole thing. Which I thought like in my mind, like, shouldn't you be in the church for that to take effect? Apparently not. Not to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Not this logic.
And whenever someone's sick or in hospitals, what do they? You think they hear it? But like, oh yeah, Truth or Dare. I'm confused.
That's why I was like, that's the stupidest ending I've ever seen for this, and like, the whole world's now in danger. But the thing is, like, it's on YouTube, so YouTube could definitely be like, okay, we'll just take it down.
Yeah.
So it could either work or it couldn't. Like only like, let's say like, apparently to them like 100,000 or something people saw it, so it'll probably take like 100,000 people to go back to the main character. But still, like, then after that, you're still stuck with it.
Exactly.
Which is so stupid.
Whenever
like,
you pause the video in the middle of it, that's it.
Yeah. You're like, oh, maybe I actually shouldn't watch this. Or it gets copyright.
Or you go on then you report it, and you're like, no, this is stupid.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's what I thought. Like, this is so dumb. I really didn't like that movie, and but the next one I feel was way worse than this movie. And
oh, how so?
You saw it. I know you have.
No. Oh, I did.
Yes, and
okay.
It's your old friend Slendy.
Slender Man?
Slender Man. Remember you ever watched that music video?
Why would you watch that movie?
Because I was like, I told myself, like, I want to watch some really awful stuff, and this I did. This was probably the worst one out of the 3 movies I saw.
Yes, it is. My God, Slender Man is so garbage.
It is. It's so awful. The worst thing about this is it's just so boring. There's nothing that happens in this movie. There's like long stretches of them just like, ooh, this is spooky because we're walking through this world and like,
walking this world that they never describe what town they in. Somewhere in the North Pacific West.
Yeah, it's really stupid. They also did the same thing inside Truth or Dare, which is like, I don't know anyone that does this in real life, where if you go behind someone, you don't say a thing, and then they turn around, they get all scared, and this thing happens. If I walk behind someone, I'd be like, I'm right behind you, or I'd be like, hey, what's going on? But no, they stay immediately quiet until they're like 2 feet behind them, and I'm just like, what? Who does that? And this happens a couple times in here. They did it for like the librarian scene. I'm just like, yeah, she's a librarian. What was the scary part about that? But yeah, the whole premise is like, oh, they watch a cursed video, like in The Ring,
like the Ring, yes.
And then it's like, oh, we shouldn't watch that. I'm just like, is that how Slender Man works? I don't even know. I thought you just actually had to go I thought you just had to go in the woods and try to find him. I didn't think it was like a thing you had to activate.
Also, I'm scared of the more Slender Man that pretty much want his $20 from me.
I want that mod. Put that mod inside this movie.
Give me $20. Give me $20. Yeah, man, I still owe Slender Man $20. So.
So yeah, and then they have to sacrifice something they love. I'm just like, where's the lore in this? I'm just like, is that really how Slender Man works? Even then, I don't think he follows it. Even if you sacrifice something, he still kind of just sticks around.
Yeah. And like see, I completely erased that movie out of my mind, and now you bring in like being flashbacks of pretty much me think of that movie. Like, my God, that movie was bad.
It also has the same kind of the same ending for it, which is the downer ending. Which I'm like, that's just stupid. You know, she gets caught, she turns into a tree. I'm just like, I didn't know Slender Man did that.
And also, Slender Man's special power is turning people to trees. I'm confused. So he's a healthy environment, so he's the better version of Captain America. I mean, Captain Planet. Kids, guess what? I turn you to a tree.
They also did this really awful moment in the movie where she wakes up from the nightmare not once but twice, which I'm just like, what? She was getting attacked by Slender. She wakes up, goes to the mirror, she's got a pregnant belly, and then she wakes up again. I'm just like, don't do that. Is the worst cliche.
Like, hold on. How's she get pregnant? The Slender Man touch Slender. I don't respect this now, man. You a weird dude. I know you got tentacles, but come on, man.
He's got the Shane Dawson feel on him.
Don't mention his name on this podcast.
Shane Dyson.
Don't mention that dude. Dude.
He's already gonna be irrelevant soon. So, anyways, but yeah. So this one is the worst one out of all of them. It's just the characters are just like, what? And also he has like a phone. I think Slender Man has a phone he can go inside your house with, and he can broadcast.
Which is like, so you tell me Slender Man, it has all the. He's a modern day on Captain Planet. He's the modern day Captain Planet.
And also, it's like, oh, maybe it takes place in their brain. I'm just like, I guess, because that black girl's like strangling herself.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, they didn't even try to help her, which is the really funny part. Because they go to her house, and they're like, what happened to her? They go there, she just stares out the window, and they're like, oh, she's crazy. And then they just don't help her. I'm like, you can't even go inside and ask her, like, what's going on?
Or go in and be like, yo, I'm checking my friend. And she's the only black girl in town. No black man. The only black person in that town. Oh my God, I don't even know who I saw that movie with. I'm getting angry now. Let's talk about something else.
I'm so angry. But yeah, that was the one that was like, what was the point of this one? And it came out way too late. That's the thing. Like, it came out like around 2018, and I was like, that's
2017, I believe.
It was 2018. It came out in the same year as Truth or Dare, and they shouldn't have done it. That's what I think. Like, they took way too long to make this thing, and people don't care. And also, if they were doing it, we should have made like R-rated or something like that, or something. Give it an edge over the competition. But no, it's PG-13.
No, because then the kiddies will not see it.
They're not interested in
Slender Man. Like what in 2014, 2015.
No, he was big in 2011, 2012, something like
2012, that. Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking
so
like,
kids who watched them,
yeah,
if they were 10, they'll be like 16 years old. They'll be like, I remember Slender Man, but I don't know. They're more into watching like Five Nights. If they do the Five Nights movie whenever that comes out, which I feel like will be also way too late for Five Nights to come out. They should have capitalized on it and made it like about like a year after it got big that way, or at least like when part 5 came out. Because remember that game came out like part 1 came out, and then like I think 3 or 4 months later part 2 came out, which like it wasn't a lot of work to put in because it was just kind of like the same mechanics and same graphics, but he kept pumping them out because he was just getting rich.
Which one's part 5?
I don't know. And you're telling me now, like I know
when part 5 came out, it's like part 5.
I know there's sister. I know there's like part 4 is like sister location or something like that, and then
I thought part 3 was the home, right? No, part 3 was the No, part 4 was the home. Part 5 was something else.
I believe part 5 was sister location. Here, let me see right now. I'm checking right. Five Nights at Freddy's.
The real detailed work that the dead fixers do.
Was that the bite of 87? You heard that meme? Was that the bite of 87?
The bite of 87. Well, I wonder what happened to Matt Pat.
He's still doing his videos. People just clowning him all the time now because it's funny. It's fun to do.
Because he's in other people's content. That's what I heard too.
I mean, he kind of does it anyways, but it's more like he does videos on stuff that honestly no one really cares about. It's like, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, I remember Matt Pat used to come on my feed.
Yeah.
And now it's just not. Even Markiplier doesn't come on my feed no more.
Well, he's still doing what he wants to do. Anyways, yeah, 2014, there's Five Nights at Freddy's. Then there's Part 2, also in the same year. Part 3 came out in 2015. So did Part 4. And apparently Part 4 was the final chapter. And then,
Part 4 was the final chapter. That was the home one.
That was the home one. The player character is a young boy. I'm like, with delusions. I'm like, okay, so yeah, that was the one. And there's the sister location, which again happened in 2016. So I'm like, I don't even know.
And then they made a bunch of other ones up.
They made a bunch of other ones. Yes, Freddy in Space 2. Excuse me. Freddy's augmented reality. FNAF World. Okay. You know, did you see that one? There's like WWE 2K2 21, and it's like looks cartoony. I don't know. It just looks weird.
Yeah. 2K20. Yeah, that horrible Abomination. Yes. The Abomination. I look, like, you know what? No wrestling game this year. And then they was like trying to make fun of the jinx of it too, but it's just like, no, the game's looking, it's too bad.
They've already lost. We already have the high ground.
Yeah,
Two high ground
and now
one podcast.
And now, like, even people now still like, oh man, I'm not gonna support 2K20. I say, you still will.
Yeah.
The same way I'm like, oh, you gonna still support 2K20? I say, it's still basketball, right?
I guess so,
like,
yeah.
Like, still, what about Madden, football, or anything else? I'm like, well, whenever it goes on sale.
But last movie I want to talk about is the last one in this trilogy of awful movies. Was I saw Escape Room, and it's
Escape Room. Okay, yeah, I heard.
It came out last
Escape
year.
Room 2.
Oh yeah, there's a part 2 coming out, but this is the only. This is the one I say, like, it's entertaining. It's the best one out of all of them, but that's still not saying much because I still think, like, this is still pretty stupid. But yeah, it's catching on the whole craze of, like, oh, escape rooms. What if it is like that, except it's now Saw? And that's why I thought the entire thing, like, this is kind of like Saw.
Is this Saw? No, I believe this is Saw. Except for more death, but that's Saw all about. Saw was pretty much just like, I want to play a game. It's the original OG Escape Room.
But that's the thing. With Saw, at least, like I said, they had an edge because they were R-rated. This is PG-13, so they really can't get away with, you know...
Baby Saw.
Baby's first Saw.
Baby Saw.
Oh my god. Can you be more?
Baby Saw.
But yeah, I saw this, and like the concept, at least the thing with this, at least it kept moving. There was stuff happening where, like, oh, we gotta get out of this room now. In the first 20 minutes, yeah, they introduce all the characters, but once they get into the escape room stuff, I'm like, okay, at least there's things happening. At least I can, you know, say it wasn't as boring as any other ones. And so they're like, oh, we gotta figure this out. Oh, here's a clue. Oh, there's a clue. Oh, here's a clue. Oh, there's a clue. That whole thing. And but some of the puzzle stuff, I'm just like, that's really what? That's the solution to that problem? There's one like, oh, you gotta...
Give me one puzzle.
There's one where you have to put, like, water in a glass and set it on a table, and the weight of the water puts it down, and it opens like a painting that you can crawl through. But the thing is with that, the room's also hot, and it's getting hotter and hotter. And so they drank some of the water, and like, oh, we don't have enough liquid. I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, you could just piss in it.
You can use your own fluids.
Yeah, you can throw up in it. I don't know.
But do something. Be smart.
And
be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Even then, they were in a room with actual stuff in it, so like they could have like put like a chair, anything. I'm like, why did it have to be glasses? There's no chips saying like, oh, this is a glass. You can only put, you know, glasses on this thing. I'm just like,
Yeah.
So then they go to the next room, which is the ice room, and there's and it's all cold, and the ice is the ice has like a key inside it, and they have to melt it, and they all put their hands on it to melt the ice. And again, in my mind, I'm like, why don't you just piss on it? You have like.
First of all, I'm worried about you keep saying pissing on things.
There's two problems in this thing I could have solved with piss. I'm just like.
Okay, I'm worried about you, man.
Well, that's like a logical thing. Like it'll melt it pretty quickly, and also there's 6 people pissing on an ice cube. I can melt it.
I'm pretty sure one of them was a woman, right?
2 of them were women.
2 of them was a woman. Yeah.
What? It's a life and death situation, though. It's like I would.
Not in this day and age, sir. Not in this day and age. You're not gonna see them pulling down their trousers.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like I know that's the thing. Like they wouldn't have done that, but you think in that mindset of just like that's what I would do. I mean, I've people like, yeah, we're gonna die, so you might as well just piss on the thing. Take that out of context, if you will.
Yep, I sure did.
But isn't this the girl from Daredevil, Karen Page?
Okay, she was there.
Yeah, she was in it. Like, so they actually have some like stars. I'm like, oh, there you go. At least I know who she is. So yeah, and then it goes on like, oh, this is what the thing is. Oh, this is what the solution to this thing is, and I'm just like, that's so dumb. And in the end, the worst part about this is the end, because they do a sequel baited, a real sequel bait, not like a whole like, oh, what could happen, not like a, Avengers type of thing where it's like, oh, it's end of the story, but still there's still a little bit that could happen. No, it's like, no, if you want to know what happens next, we have to have a sequel, otherwise it won't. You don't know what's going on. So like, the thing is this, like she survives, the main character, because she's on the poster. Of course she's gonna survive. Another dude, and then it looks like they're all doing fine because they were just like, oh, we escaped. We contacted the police, but when we went back to the building, everything was gone. I'm just like, how fast did they work? That was like an entire building. Like, holy crap. And she was like, it was here, I know it. And then like they were like, I gotta find who they are. And the guy was like, you don't have to do that. And like, I know where they are because of these numbers. I'm just like, sure. And then they show a shadowy figure setting up another escape room type thing, and he's like, oh, we got her flight information, so we're gonna put her in another game. And then it ends right there. I'm just like, what?
That's weird.
They really fucked that one up. Which I'm just like, and well, they won because they were like, oh yeah, if you want to see what happens, you have to get another sequel. Guess what? They're getting another sequel. So it's so stupid. It honestly is. It's not, again, it's like, it's not the worst one out of all of them. It's actually quite entertaining for the most part, but it's just like, it was, the ending was so awful. That's what people, that's what I get the consensus, like, people like everything else except the ending. But even then, like, I don't even like everything else, because everyone, and every character is an idiot. They're all kind of jerks to each other, even though, like, hey, we're all in this together. We have to survive, and they're like, no, I want to do things for myself. I'm like, we're in an escape room and we're gonna die.
I want to do things myself. Okay, you die now.
Yeah, basically.
Next question.
But did anyone else see the Ubisoft thing yesterday?
I did not.
They had stuff there. They showed the new.
The way you say
No, well, here's the thing though. They showed stuff like I knew what was gonna happen. They did a thing like, oh yeah, Watch Dogs Legion. I'm like, I'm more of the thing of like, I don't know if Watch Dogs 3 is gonna be good, because the second one was pretty good, but they made this one look like, oh, you can play multiple people now. I'm just like, I like it better when it's a whole, single character. But if this works out, hey, that's cool. Maybe it's actually good. Then they showed Just Dance, because they were like, oh, here's more Just Dance.
Yeah,
like,
Just Dance 2021.
I guess. No, I think it's like a 2020 thing though. It's still 2020.
Oh, 2020?
I think they're doing like seasons now. Like, oh, it's this 2020 part 2. There's like more songs. I'm just like, sure.
Yeah, sure. Instead of microtransactions, we're just gonna give you another base game for it.
Yeah, basically. And then they showed the one for Valhalla, Assassin's Creed, and I don't know. It's kind of funny to me only because like they're just taking so many liberties with this right now, because they're trying to make the Vikings the good guys, or at least in their eyes. Which I'm like, you know about Vikings, right? They're not good people.
They're not good people. There's no like, oh well, there was some good. Like, no. Like, are they really though? Are they really?
But I'm like,
give it a door meme. Like, are they really?
I think that's the whole thing. And they're like, oh, it's gonna do a lot of Norse mythology stuff in there. I'm just like, I guess, but now it's like it's not Assassin's Creed anymore. It's more God of War / Dark Souls type of combat, which I'm like, that's good for them. They at least evolved, but I liked the fact that I can just like go on top of a tree and assassinate someone with the blade, and then have to worry about like, oh, they'll live through that. I'm like, no, you can't.
No, you die.
I know I'm only level 10 and you're level 21, but you should be dead no matter what level you are with a blade through your neck.
You be dead, homie.
But yeah, and like, oh, they were like, oh, you can dual wield now. Anything. You can have one shield, one sword, 2 axes, 1 shield, 1 axe. Or guess what? 2 shields. I'm like, who's going in a battle with 2 shields?
Yes, Dark Souls, baby.
I'm just like, that looks very hilarious.
Ultimate skill. Ultimate moves.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, secret moves. I just go use the shield, boys.
Super defense mode activate. Ha ha ha.
Aha.
Double the captain, America. You're just like, woof and woof.
Hopefully those come back. If they don't, then I'm screwed. Hand to hand, baby.
Yeah.
Hand to hand.
So, but I just saw that. I'm just like, okay, well, that's cool. I always wait. That's the thing, like with Assassin's Creed games, especially now. Yes, you get the bang for your buck. Especially like Odyssey. I remember Odyssey, like that was like an 80-hour game, and I completed it like in 30. But I was like, there's a lot to do, but I don't want to because this game is so goddamn huge.
He was like, like I will one day, but that's that one day we can never.
So yeah, it looks like it's being one of those again, where it's like it's gonna be like 100 hours, and like I don't know.
Like, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
And then they showed which is the worst kept leak, which was Far Cry 6, with your boy Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad.
So he's playing his like pretty much America's favorite character now.
Yeah, just a bad guy, the menacing.
Yeah, Fring, I forgot. Gus Fring. And pretty much because I'm looking at it, so he's playing Gus Fring in this. Yeah. Gotcha.
And he does, and that's the thing, he does it pretty well. Like, you can totally tell, like, if he was an actual evil guy, like, you could believe it.
But also, it just makes me want to think, also be like, okay, so who cares about the good guy? Because there's you don't really see the good guy at all.
That is true.
When the last time you pretty much be like, oh, there's I want to play a good guy in like a Far Cry. I mean, be interested in a good guy in a Far Cry game.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if you actually play the villain in this. I don't think you're gonna play Giancarlo Esposito. I don't think you're gonna play him.
I wish you could.
Yeah, he'd be interesting though.
His lines would be very interesting.
Yeah. Better
than like the main character, whoever. And now this like pretty much I saw like people was like, oh, the kid, his kid is what's his face, blah blah blah.
It's Voss.
Yeah, Voss.
Which I'm like, it could work if they do it, but they didn't really outright say it inside the game, so like it could be. You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be cool.
The scar is high, man.
Yeah, that's all they have going for it. Like, one scar, he's definitely Voss. But this looks cool. I'm like, I like it because like from what it looks like, it takes place in Cuba, where there's this whole civil unrest thing, which is like, oh, that's topical. That's happening now.
But it makes me want to think if it's Boston, where his sister at?
Well, we'll have to play the game to find out. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, yeah, he does have a sister, or it could be just a sister in name. You never know. Like, he just calls her sister because he can say that. You don't ever know. But we'll see what that happens, because if that would be the case, then this, Far Cry 3 takes place somewhat in the present, and then Far Cry 6 takes some place in the present because he's got like Apple earpods. So it's like, so does that mean Far Cry 3 takes place in the future?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Far Cry New Blood Dragon.
Oh my god! I really wish they'd release another sequel to that game.
They did.
I know you keep saying that, but I want, you know what I mean. It's like saying like, I wish they had a sequel to Mass Effect 3. Like, oh yeah, they did. It's called Andromeda. I'm like, no, you know what I mean.
Well, no, Andromeda is just another tale, man. That is not a sequel at all.
But people will still say it though. They'll be like, "It's a sequel." Like, yeah, because it does. It's technically taking place after that whole thing.
Yeah, taking place the whole like pretty much everybody was frozen in space.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm very like I want to see how this goes because like if you if you buy this you get it upgraded to the Series X version. So like I like that. That's cool. What else you got?
Freaking what's his face? Cyberpunk.
So, yeah, we got Cyberpunk. We got the Assassin's Creed also will be upgraded once it comes out. And yeah, for right now we're at the end of the lifespan of like our current gen consoles right now. So we're moving on to the next gen. I'm like, oh, let's see how this works out. Because I'm like, the last game I'm going to get for the PS4, well, right now, at least basically, it's going to be Ghost of Tsushima, which comes out this Friday.
Yep. It is. And I the thing is, people like, well, why you not getting all these new, like, PlayStation 4 games? I'm like, because I have the original PlayStation 4, and it's not be looking too hot. And then, like, my family would be, like, pretty much, it would not be... To me, it's like it would not optimize the game at all. And pretty much it would be more a hindrance. Because then I'll be like, oh, my frames will be dropping, and I can't really enjoy the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be doing the same thing they did like last time, which is like the games that came out like within 2013, 14 for the Xbox 360 and PS3. They're just kind of like, oh, we're just gonna port it. Like okay,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to get ported, so I just go wait for the port.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna port Ghost of Tsushima, but I want to play it now. Like I want to play this game. That's like it's gonna be a fun one. Same way I think they're gonna like remaster, Last of Us Part 2 and all that stuff.
Which is still a lot of people that game just getting so much hate.
Yeah, I feel I get so sad hearing about that, which is like, people just. I mean, I'll hear their opinion if they at least played through the game fully, because at least they can actually say like, I don't like this part. But if they say like, oh, I played up to this part here, I'm just like, you didn't play the full game then. I don't know. That's how I feel. And yeah, it gets a lot of like just things of people doing like, oh, they're pushing their woke narrative. I'm just like, I don't know what you're trying to say here.
Yeah, I'm confused. What?
But it's just kind of I'm still thinking about it now. I still think like I still really like that game. It's still really good to me. I mean, I can put it on the same scale. Like it's like probably like slightly below Last of Us Part 1, but I still really liked it. I liked it a lot. And
you are the only person.
No, if you followed like Neil Druckmann's Twitter, there's still people out there that are campaigning.
I know. I'm just saying, like you the only like group of friends.
Who else do you know has played?
I'm not talking about Twitter.
Okay, but who else have you has played Part 2? Because I want to hear
you don't know, but I know one guy who's pretty much just like he's just like no, they completely just I understand the concept of like they was trying to do it, but they pretty much you made like everything kind of did like in the first one pretty much was like just not worth it at all. A waste of time.
I mean, that's the thing, though. That's how I feel like. I think that was the point. You're supposed to get really mad at the beginning, but I don't know. That's me. Like, there's a lot of conversation to be had with this. You can actually sit down and be like, what do you like about it, what you don't like, and then you can say your thoughts and say what you will about it. Like, at least it's got people talking, like, just like, how they feel about games and all that stuff. How it can motivate you.
I just think. For me and what I see in the reactions, I think a lot of people want the satisfying of pretty much like, yeah, we can get it, like to pretty much like, okay, that person gets their up and coming.
Yeah, I think they want more like a Hollywood style game, or they want to just part one again, but just a little bit more. Which I'm like, this is not gonna be. This is like completely genre. It's in the same way of Metal Gear Solid 2. People, from what I can tell. When it first came out, Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, people hated it.
Well, no, people didn't hate it. They didn't like the sequel the whole like because in the beginning, see, I was there. I'm not the one that camped that hated Metal Gear 2. A live gameplay was pretty much was featuring Snake and Snake and Snake and Snake, and this if you want to play Snake for at least a good like hour or so, or like pretty much less than that, and then oh, guess what? You play as this new guy, Raiden. And you're like, Raiden? Who the hell is Raiden? I thought I was supposed to play a Snake and this and blah, 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 blah. And realize, like, oh, okay. It was this. And then, like, the ending's a little bit strange because how, like, well, Liquid kind of lived through an arm. Wait, what? How'd that happen? And then pretty much a payoff when you do Metal Gear Solid, play Metal Gear Solid 4. It was like, nope. It was all psychotherapy. Like, he just completely decided to get his mannerism. Liquid never did live through and you'd be like, well, that's just stupid. So it was stupid, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, Ocelot was pretty much, you start appreciating more and more Ocelot after, like, 4, because you play part 3, and be like, okay, Ocelot was just me who plays many different cards.
And also after part 5, he was actually very cool in part 5.
Well, part 5, yeah, he was cool, too. But I'm talking about, like, just, 4... you pretty much be like, you realize, like, okay, Ocelot just have all these different things going on. Part 5 made like, oh, Ocelot, before he became, like, creepy scumbag torture guy, he just became, oh, he's a cool guy. Ocelot, yeah, I like to have a drink with that guy one day.
Yeah, Kojima made, like, 2 of the most, like, divisive games I've seen. When he made part 2, like I said, like, people either, I think right now, Metal Gear Solid 2 people are kind of like, oh yeah, it was, they think about it now, people are like, oh yeah, it's a good game now, but I know a lot of people were like, didn't like that.
A lot of people was upset about it because it was just like, they want more Snake, and Kojima was like, guess what, you will get Snake. No, not really. You're not gonna get that Snake. You silly. And then part 3, a lot of people was upset about that because you see, like, Snake, 1960? What's going on? And then like, no. You play as Snake, but you play as the boss. You play as Naked Snake. And people were like, what is this Kojima? And then realize, oh, holy crap, this is actually a good game.
Yeah.
And then it's, it's like the Kojima will always have his, like, oh, you really want to play as Solid Snake, huh? Or you can if you play the old games.
And then you play part 4. Which I think people, I don't know what the consensus is of part 4. I think I like it for the most part.
It's a long
but movie. That one is just like, why would it, 90 minutes worth of cutscenes in between gameplay? I didn't think that was possible, but you did it.
It's a long movie. It's a long, like, pretty much love letter to people who want to, like, man, I wish I could play as Young Snake, and you get that moment of him playing as Young Snake, but then, it's old man Snake, and be like, no, I want to play as Young Snake. But if you beat the game, you can have that skin as Young Snake. It just looks weird.
I like that, the mechanic of where you can just blend in with the floor, the ground, and all that stuff. Well,
cool. That technology was pretty much from part 3.
Yeah, I know. They just took that right there. But
Slender Man.
Because people, last time that happened too was like Death Stranding. People either loved that game or hated it.
Death Stranding was a big, pretty much multiplayer game.
It's a gamble. That's the thing. Same thing with Last of Us Part 2. Like, it's a gamble. You either go something completely different that just that goes past your expectations, or you kind of stick with the same thing.
You know what? But I would tell you this though. I think Death Stranding is one of the, if you compare all the stuff that Kojima did, it's one of the worst games he did.
Damn. I hold back on my opinion because I only see people, I've heard opinions and stuff on it. People say like, oh, it's actually, kind of cool and good and all stuff, and then.
Well, it's good, it's all right, but compared to all the stuff, this is my opinion. Like, compared to all the other games he did, it was just like, this is one of the weakest games he has.
Yeah. But I gotta play it though. That's the thing. Like, I gotta actually play it and see how it is.
Like graphically, looks awesome. It looks great. Like, the story, cool. But it's just like it's just a big Hollywood movie. If you pretty much want to simplify it, it's a big Hollywood movie. Kojima got money, so when he got money, he can do Hollywood stuff. This is his Hollywood love letter.
Remember
But then you be like, but what was his best game? So like,
Part
people
3.
pretty much.
Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of his best. I would say that, like...
I say Metal Gear 2.
You like Part 2 more than Part 3? That's weird.
Not Metal Gear Solid. I say Metal Gear 2.
Oh, Metal Gear 2. That's even weirder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How's that weirder?
Because no one talks about it.
Metal Gear games feel good.
Okay. I will just say, like, I don't hold that at all. You're talking about the NES ones, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, you are on another planet. I don't even know.
Okay, like,
even speaking the same alien language here.
Like, you can say the best game. Yeah, I can say Metal Gear Solid. It's like pretty much the best game he ever made. Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. Because it's a remaster, so screw it.
I know.
But if you ask me, like, oh, what's the, like, his still, like, a good game to play? I was like, if you play pretty much Metal Gear from the NES, those two games are really good. Those two games make you think outside the box. Those two games are a pain in the behind, but it still are really good games.
Okay. That's all I gotta say about that. It's like,
Have you played those games? Have you beat those games?
Of course I haven't. I'm just... No one else talks about them. Just the thing. It's like, anyone talks about Metal Gear, that never comes up in conversation.
Because, a lot of people, fanboys of Metal Gear Solid. That's why. No one plays... if you really think about Metal Gear, like the first and second one, the first and second ones have good storytelling. No, you had to... Don't forget, the Big Boss had kids. Had little child soldiers. And defending them. That takes place in Metal Gear Solid 5 when he started kidnapping them. A.K.A. not the boss.
Not the boss.
No, that is... what they call them? The Revengers, fake Big Boss. When fake Big Boss would start kidnapping kids, and when you pretty much break it down, the whole thing, like how everything connected, you be like, okay, this is actually has some nuance towards it.
Whatever. That's what I gotta say. It's like, I guess. I don't know.
Like I say, once you beat the first two ones, then you understand the love affair that I have for that game. Then you be like, oh, okay, I see it.
I don't know where you can play part 1 and 2 of those things.
On the Metal Gear 2 remaster thing on the
Both
Xbox.
Of them are on there? Both?
Yeah.
Okay.
You told me, it's on not Game Pass. It's on like the Metal Gear Solid 2 collection.
Metal Gear Solid. You mean 2 and 3? The HD collection?
2 and 3. The HD collection, and they have Metal Gear 1 and 2 on it.
It's probably on the same disc as Peace Walker then. Even then, I haven't played Peace Walker that much. I mean, I finished and played it, but I don't know. That wasn't my favorite.
Peace Walker was like pretty much a graphic novel. Like there was a lot of things pretty much like, graphic novel. It was Metal Gear Solid 5 before Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah,
it had the same concept of Metal Gear Solid 5. Okay, we just go Fulton everything, and Kojima be like, I like the idea of Fulton everything, and that thing was like. Kojima, man, I don't want to Fulton everything. I like the whole idea, Peace Walker, that everything is breaking missions, not this big long cutscenes.
Yeah.
But Kojima, we like the big long cutscenes. No, man, I like to break it down in mission forms. It takes away from the gameplay. You know who I am? I'm Hideo Kojima, baby. Okay, you're right. I'm wrong.
But yeah. Well, with that, we will see you all next week.
Yeah. Where they should go to find episodes?
You can go to our Stitcher, go to our Apple Podcast, go to any podcast app, type in the Dead Pixels, the internet, and then you can see us there. And yes, we're still on Stitcher. I checked. As for Radio Reddit, I have no idea because I don't even think Radio Reddit is still a thing.
Let me type in Radio Reddit.
Yeah, let's both do that right now. It's gonna be that adventure. Let's see.
Radio Reddit.
Apparently, still no. Well, it gets you to the.
Yeah, no, Radio Reddit. No, that's from 2009.
6 years ago. This.
Internet radio.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I type in Radio Reddit.
Looks like you're talking more about like live streams in this thing. I don't know if this is just a internet radio. I will say no on this one. It's just gonna be weird.
Yeah, I don't see it at all.
Hey, let's not talk about that then. Go to our website, thedeadpixelsinternet.podbean.com. Go to our Facebook, facebook.com/thedeadpixels of the internet.
Yep, like the page and get your name mentioned on the podcast.
Yeah. Go to our YouTube page, Dead Pixels Internet, for video form. If you want to be cool, use your YouTube Premium.
All your data.
Huh?
Also on Tuesday, guess what it is? T-Mobile Tuesday.
Free chicken sandwich day.
Yeah, chicken sandwich day and a 2-piece.
That's a very good thing. I'm just like, hey, that's all right by me.
I just wonder what the requirements are. Pretty much, you have to get like a $20 meal.
Oh, if that's the case, then I'd be like, no.
Like, no.
It says here specifically. I mean, that's why I was looking at the fine prints, just to be like. And I saw like, oh, only one per customer. Like, okay, that's pretty much, standard. And then it doesn't say like, oh, a minimum of like $5 purchase. Like, I didn't see that there. So I don't know. It could change.
Well, I know tomorrow around 11 o'clock, I am walking.
Yeah.
Baby.
Just we'll make a whole thing. I know all my sisters that have T-Mobile too, so I'm like, let's make it a thing. I'll put up a meme saying like me and the boys walking to Popeyes with our free apps. Dun, 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 dun. And it's just, I don't know. I can't edit.
Villains.
Exactly. I like how you take a break just to say that to the people. Yes, if you have Sprint and if you have T-Mobile, that's what's happening on Tuesday. And you'll see us there too. That's our impromptu meeting. And if you see us, be sure to wear a mask because I ain't getting near you.
Yep, exactly. Mask City, baby. You can follow me at Broken Hexagram on the Twitter.
You can follow me at Joe Manuel. And will I go on the at our other one at TDPOTI podcast? Maybe. We'll check it out. I'll check it out. I'll see what's going on. Yeah, that's it. Make sure you listen to us next week when we talk about funny times. This has been the Dead Pixels of the Internet. Ruining the internet since 2011.
Popeye, baby.